You are tuned into a special player spotlight interview on the CS Podcast.
Welcome to another episode of the CS Podcast presented by the NUC NFL Draft Bible, bringing you the names that you need to know first since 2002. Visit NFLDraftBible.com. I'm your guys' host, Chris Shanafel, and joining the show now for a player spotlight interview, we have linebacker out of Rutgers, Kaiwan Lewis on the phone lines. And Kaiwan, we appreciate you taking some time out of your busy schedule to chat. Seeing as your collegiate career has been over now for a few months, I mean, has it sunk in yet that, the next time you suit up for another football game, it'll actually be your job at the professional level?
It's kind of sunken in because I'm just excited for the opportunity to play at the next level and just training right now with some great guys and a great staff. So I'm focused. I'm ready to go and can't wait to get the opportunity.
Yeah, and take us through what you've been doing over the last few months. I mean, where are you training at, and what are some of the things that you've been doing in these training sessions?
Right now, I've been training at Fit Speed down in South Florida with Matt Gates. And training so far has been very well, in the great weather in Florida, and being able to get outside and do a lot of position drills and whether linebacker drills and defensive back drills just to, continue to keep my feet and hips right because, like we all know, at the next level, it's such a pass-happy league now. Mm-hmm. So I'm just getting better each and every day in different ways and just ready to show the scouts what I can do at the pro days and workouts.
Yeah, absolutely. And as you know, I mean, I'm sure you love your home state of New Jersey, but there's no better place to be than Florida, especially this time of the year. February 1st now, so this process is going to start heating up very quickly for you. Now, looking at your football career thus far, Kaiwan, I see that you were considered a 4-star prospect and ranked the 5th best high school football player in the state of New Jersey by ESPN. Coming out of St. Joseph High School, where you actually played with my guy Gordon Hill, and then you decided to further your education and football playing career at the University of South Carolina, where you spent 3 years at. Talk about your playing for the Gamecocks and what it was like to play under a legendary coach in Steve Spurrier.
Oh, it's been nothing short of amazing. I felt like I played under some legendary coaches in high school as one of the most winningest high school coaches in New Jersey, and Paul Sacco at St. Joseph High School, and going on to the college level, playing under Coach Spurrier, and everybody knows him across the country from being a Heisman winner and an NFL quarterback as well. Now one of the greater coaches out there in college football. So it's just a blessing to have played for so many great people, and I look at it every day and just think about how blessed I am and how blessed I will be.
I got to ask you, were you surprised that Spurrier re-signed about a month and a half into the season? Were you surprised that he resigned and that? And do you expect him to be back in the coaching ranks? I mean, I know that you weren't with South Carolina this past season, but was that something that kind of caught you off guard?
Yeah, it definitely caught me off guard. I wasn't expecting it. And, I know they were having a rough season this year, but I wasn't exactly expecting it. But I'm not sure. It might come back. I got a strong feeling. I believe he'll be back in the game. I know he went out with a great resume to fall back on. Okay,
yeah, and he did make it clear that he is not retiring. He resigned, but he is not retiring. So maybe we do see Coach Spurrier back on the sideline somewhere near you. So anyways, looking at what you're able to do throughout your collegiate career, Kaiwan, I see that there's a drop-off from your 2013 season to your 2014 season at South Carolina. A pretty damn impressive sophomore season in which you played in all 12 games and started 10 of those 12 games at middle linebacker. You were able to tally 54 tackles, 4 tackles for loss, 2 interceptions, 2 forced fumbles, and 2 fumble recoveries. The following year as a junior, you appeared in 8 games with only 1 start, which, of course, allowed your production to drop a bit. What was the reasoning behind the lack of playing time that you received in 2014? I mean, do you have any ideas?
No, going into the season, I had a slight injury. So I tried to, rush back and get back out there with my teammates just because I want to contribute to the team. I felt like I was a huge part of the success that we had my sophomore year. And I kind of rushed myself back. And in time of that happened, I just wasn't as ready to play as I thought I was. So in some of those games that I played, in those 8 games, it wasn't a lot of plays due to the fact of just me being injured and not able to give my all in those games.
Okay.
There
all right.
was
and
no
seeing as
lack of talent or anything like that. It was just, just the injury bug.
Well, and seeing as that was back in 2014, I mean, looking at what you're able to do this past season, like you said, it looks like it was really just an injury problem. At least for me, being on the outside looking in, I could definitely see that being the reason. I got to ask, is that injury all good now? I mean, did you have any problems with it this past season at Rutgers?
Oh yeah, the injury went away right throughout that season. I was able to get the rest through my junior year and everything like that. So it was pretty good to go out there and play in front of my home state and just show that I'm still that same player that I've always been, and I've done nothing but get better.
And talk about that, Kaiwan. I mean, here you are, 3 years at South Carolina, and you make the decision to finish your collegiate career, like you said, back at your home state in New Jersey at Rutgers. What was the transition like from playing at South Carolina to playing this last year at Rutgers? And how were you able to lock up one of those starting linebacker spots on the defense, your 1 year there? I mean, again, this is your senior year. I got to think you want to go out with a bang. And, heading into this season, nothing was guaranteed to you.
Definitely. It just shows me that how to be a competitor, and I've played with and played against some of the best guys throughout my career in football, and especially at the University of South Carolina. So that helped me continue to be one of the best competitors that I could always be and go up against. And being as though that I was able to go to Rutgers with the mindset of I was thinking like a pro, so to speak. Going from a team to a different team. A lot of times, guys have to learn a playbook in such a short amount of time because they come in on Tuesday and they have to play on Sunday. And that was kind of my mindset the whole time, just get my head in the playbook, learn as fast as I can, and be a leader as a Mike linebacker for a team that of guys who honestly didn't know me, and I had to go in and just earn their trust and become a leader.
Once again, he is the 2016 NFL draft prospect. Kaiwan Lewis, the middle linebacker of Rutgers, joining me here on the CS podcast presented by the NUC NFL Draft Bible, bringing you the names that you need to know first since 2002. Visit NFLDraftBible.com. And Kaiwan, what would you say, or excuse me, who would you say is the best player that you've played with, and who's the best player that you've played against over the last 4 years?
The best player I've played with over the last 4 years, I would have to say, is Jadeveon Clowney. I don't think there's anybody close to the talent that he is, especially when we were at the University of South Carolina. It's not many freak of natures out there as he is. And for the best player that I've ever played against, while in my 4 years of college, I would have to go with Todd Gurley when he was a running back at UGA.
Okay. Hey, and you know what? Obviously, Jadeveon Clowney, I mean, when he decided to go to South Carolina, he was the number one player in the country and obviously went on to being the number one pick in the NFL. Obviously, injuries have kind of hindered his young career so far, but the sky is certainly the limit for him in his career, and we obviously know about Todd Gurley, what he was able to do this season with the Rams coming off of that ACL injury. And Kaiwan, looking at some of your tape, focusing a little bit more into your game, what I was able to see was a sure tackler who not only has coverage skills, I mean, you can cover well, but you also know how to make noise in the backfield. I mean, I see a very, I would say, complete linebacker, which leads me to my next question. What would you say is your biggest strength as a linebacker, and what is something that you feel that you could still work on to get better at?
My biggest strength is I feel like I get downhill pretty fast, and I like to create havoc and attack ball carriers. I'm damn good in the run game, I feel like. As far as something I would like to improve, I would have to say my pass rushing, because I want to be able to be more versatile and beating tackles off the edge.
And let's say, looking back 5-10 years from now, you got a nice NFL career going on. What's going to be the first play that comes to mind when you think about your collegiate career, whether it was, during your time at South Carolina or even this past year at Rutgers? What would you say is the most memorable play that you've made throughout your collegiate career?
Second Taj Boyd in front of 85,000 fans in Williamsburg City.
Hey, you know what? I'll tell you what.
My biggest moment.
Yeah, and I'll tell you what, it does not sound like it gets much better than that. I mean, 85,000 people, sacking a guy like Taj Boyd, who, obviously he hasn't had the pro career that he's probably expected, but heck of a collegiate career there at Clemson. And moving on, Kaiwan, I know that you a few weeks ago were able to fly down to Texas to participate in the College Gridiron Showcase. Talk about that experience if you can, and what it was like to show scouts in attendance from all 32 teams what you're capable of.
Oh man, it was great experience going up against a lot of great competition from all over the country, and I just feel like it was good for me in terms of exposure and being able to talk to a good amount of teams. I talked to anywhere from about 5 to 8 teams, I believe, if I remember offhand. So that was a great event for me. I feel like it was very useful. Yeah,
great. What were not necessarily what were those conversations like, but what was some of the feedback that you were getting from some of the scouts? I mean, what were things that they were telling you that, you could kind of, put down on a piece of paper to kind of help you out later on into this draft process of yours?
Basically, a lot of them just told me just to don't try to be something I'm not. Don't try to be don't force anything or change anything about me. That's how I go about my business. A lot of them already, the scouts like my game, and obviously they only want you to get better, but they don't want me to just try to change the player I am to try to fit, a mold that is who I'm not. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and again, all 32 teams were represented down there in Texas for the College Gridiron Showcase. And now that event is behind you, what's next for you in this process? I mean, are we just training now for combines and pro days?
Yes, that's my only focus right now, and just training and prepping myself to just be better than I was last year, and show these scouts my improvements and all of my game, and just show them how I can move in these workouts, pro days, and I'm just ready and antsy to get out there.
Once again, he's Kaiwan Lewis, the linebacker of Rutgers by way of the University of South Carolina, joining me here on the CS podcast presented by the NUC NFL Draft Bible as he continues to gear up for the 2016 NFL Draft. And Kaiwan, I know that you signed with Dave Schumann and Inspired Athletes. Can you talk about that decision? What exactly it was Dave and Athletes were able to do to separate themselves from the other agents that were reaching out to you?
So far, it's been a pretty good bond, and to separate themselves, I just would say I just enjoyed the plan and the layout that he had set up in terms of how we would attack this process here. And it was beneficial so far, so we'll see.
Yeah, sounds great. Now, Kaiwan, I really do appreciate you taking some time this afternoon. We're going to end this interview with something that I like to call the 2-minute drill. Some of these questions will be football related, and some will be random questions that can be pretty much about anything. You ready to knock some of these out?
Yes, sir.
All right, we'll start off with what is your favorite TV show and movie?
My favorite TV show, I would say, is ESPN, of course. And favorite movie would have to be it's a tough one. Maybe Denzel Washington in Training Day.
Okay. All right, sounds good. And, of course, you mentioned ESPN. I got to think that you've already made plays that appeared on ESPN Top 10. I'm sure you'll be making many more in the future, my friend. And next question, who would you say you model your game after?
I like to model my game after players like Vontaze Burfict.
Okay. Hey, and you know what? Obviously, a great player. On the field, I mean, he could get into some extracurricular activities that may not be too necessary, but absolutely a fantastic player.
I just love the way he attacks the game and go out there and plays with a fire and a passion, like it's outside of the the antics and things like that. I just love the way he plays as a linebacker. I feel like it's an old school throwback.
Yeah, and I totally agree with you. And you know what? I know a lot of people aren't a fan of his, but like you said, on the field, what he's able to do and the way he plays the linebacker position, you got to give credit where it's due. Next question: if you had a plane ticket to travel anywhere you wanted, where are you headed?
Out to the Middle East. Go to Mecca.
Okay. All right, and here's the question that I always love hearing the response to. If you could lay a hit on one player currently playing in the NFL, it could be a quarterback, running back, a wide receiver, whatever, who would that be?
I would have to go with I'll say a quarterback, and I'm gonna go with Tom Brady, just because I'm aiming for number one.
Sounds good. Now that we know the two teams that will be playing in Super Bowl for you later on this week, I got to get a prediction, man. Broncos or Panthers?
I got Cam Newton by 3.
Okay. Yeah, I got the Panthers as well. I hope that it's going to be a close game. I think it'll be a close game. And so far, we are Panthers 5 to Broncos 1 in these prospect interviews. And final question for you, man. I really do appreciate your time. Let's say we got all 32 NFL general managers lined up and listening to this very interview. Why should they want the linebacker of Rutgers, Kaiwan Lewis, a part of their team?
Just because I feel like I'm the best. I feel like I'm the best linebacker on the board, no matter where your pick is. And as a person, I'm a person who doesn't have any character flaws or character issues off the field. Never been in any trouble. And as a linebacker, I just feel like I have a very much so complete game. But at the same time, I'm working on anything that may be flawed in my game. I feel like I'm a field general, and being as though I played in both of the best conferences in the country. I played in the SEC while the national championship was there, and I played in the Big Ten while the national championship was there. So I feel like I'm coming from the best of conferences. I played against the best talent throughout my whole career in college. And like I said, the transition from one school to another school, just like a free agency or being traded, I handled it like a professional, and I learned the playbook in less than 3 weeks, earning a starting job before the season even came, and I started every single game. Yeah,
very impressive, and a very impressive answer to that question, Kaiwan. And even like I said, the little bit of tape that I've been able to watch on you, I was able to see a very well-rounded linebacker that is hungry to make plays, and I certainly think you'll translate well to the next level. And with that said, again, I appreciate you taking some time this afternoon, and certainly wishing you all the best as you continue to get set for the 2016 NFL Draft, man.
All right, thank you.